The world held its breath, a collective pause as if nature itself was anticipating the events to come. 15 years had passed since Michael Jackson was laid to rest, a decade and a half of mourning, remembrance, and the slow march of time. In a grand mausoleum at Forest Lawn, a place of serenity and final farewells, now about to become the center of a renewed storm. His tomb, a fortress of marble and secrets, a testament to his iconic status and the enduring mystery that surrounded him, was meant to be eternal, a symbol of his everlasting impact on music and culture. But peace is fragile, especially for a man as enigmatic as Michael, whose life and death were constantly under scrutiny. On a quiet morning, a decision was made, a decision that would shatter the tranquility of Forest Lawn and reignite the world's fascination. The tomb would be opened, its heavy doors creaking open to reveal secrets unknown. The news broke like a thunderclap, an unexpected jolt that reverberated across the globe, sending shockwaves across the globe, instantly captivating the attention of millions. Why now? What could possibly be the reason after all these years? What could possibly warrant disturbing the slumber of a legend? What secrets lay hidden that demanded such a drastic measure? The reasons given were vague, murky explanations that offered little clarity. Something about the estate, about preserving the legacy, but the true motives remained shrouded in mystery. For years, the tomb had been a site of pilgrimage for fans worldwide, a sacred space to pay homage to the king of pop. To unseal it felt like a violation, a desecration of a place held sacred by millions, a betrayal of the unspoken pact between fans and their idol, a bond forged through music and admiration. Yet the order had been signed, the legal wheels set in motion, and there was no turning back. The world could only watch and wait, holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. News helicopters circled overhead, their rotors beating a frantic rhythm against the silent backdrop of the cemetery. Reporters camped out, a sea of cameras and microphones poised to capture every moment, and every media outlet was consumed by one story, the unfolding drama at Forest Lawn dominating headlines worldwide. Was it a hoax, a publicity stunt, a desperate attempt to revive a fading legacy, or was there a genuine, earth-shattering reason, a secret so profound it justified disturbing the eternal rest of a legend? The air at Forest Lawn was thick with tension, a palpable sense of anticipation and unease. A small select group was permitted inside, the chosen few who would witness whatever was about to unfold. Family members, their faces etched with a mixture of grief and apprehension. Estate lawyers, their presence a stark reminder of the complex legal battles that had plagued the Jackson family for years. And security guards, their watchful eyes scanning the surroundings, ensuring that the sanctity of the moment was preserved. They moved with solemn urgency, a procession of figures bound by a shared purpose, whatever that may be. This was not a ceremony but an operation, a carefully orchestrated endeavor with a specific objective. Every detail was meticulously planned, every contingency accounted for, leaving nothing to chance. Every move choreographed, a silent ballet of purpose and intent. The world outside could only see the gates, the walls, the trees, a barrier between the ordinary and the extraordinary. But everyone knew, something significant was happening behind those walls. A legend was being disturbed, his eternal rest interrupted by forces unknown. A story we all thought had ended, a final chapter written in stone, was about to have a new, shocking chapter written, a twist in the tale that no one could have predicted. The silence of the grave was about to be broken, the secrets it held about to be revealed. What could they possibly be looking for? What hidden truths lay buried beneath the marble? The mystery was intoxicating, pulling everyone in, a siren song of intrigue and speculation. Michael's mystique gripped the world once again, his enigmatic presence continuing to captivate even in death. The anticipation was electric, a charged atmosphere crackling with uncertainty. The world waited, caught between anticipation and dread, suspended in a moment of collective suspense. A legend's rest was about to be shattered, his legacy about to be redefined. No one knew what would be revealed, but everyone knew that the world would never be quite the same. To understand the gravity of this moment, you must remember the man, the icon, the legend. Michael Jackson was not just a singer, he was a phenomenon, a cultural earthquake. His influence permeated every corner of the globe. From the Jackson 5 to the King of Pop, his life was a spectacle, a carefully crafted performance played out on the world's stage. Every move, every note, scrutinized and celebrated. He gave us the moonwalk, a dance move that defied gravity and captivated audiences worldwide. Thriller, an album that redefined the music industry and set a new standard for artistic achievement. And a legacy that transcended borders, uniting people through the universal language of music and dance. His impact was undeniable. His death in 2009 shook the world, leaving a void that could never truly be filled. The outpouring of grief was unprecedented, a global mourning for a man who had touched so many lives. His memorial was broadcast to billions, a testament to his unparalleled reach and influence. The world stopped to pay its respects. Entombing him at Forest Lawn was meant to be a final, definitive statement, a symbolic closing of a tumultuous chapter. His golden casket was sealed behind layers of concrete and marble, a fortress built to protect his eternal rest. For 15 years that seal remained unbroken, a silent promise kept by those who guarded his memory. The tomb became a symbol of finality, a place where the chaos of his life could not reach him, a sanctuary of peace. The estate protected his legacy, releasing albums and documentaries, keeping his music alive for generations to come, but never touching the tomb. It remained untouched, a sacred space. It was an unspoken rule, a line that would not be crossed, a boundary respected by all. So why now, in the summer of 2025? What could possibly justify disturbing his eternal slumber? The 15-year mark seemed arbitrary yet significant, a milestone that prompted a re-evaluation of his life and legacy. A new generation had discovered his music. The fascination had only intensified, proving his timeless appeal. His life was a puzzle with missing pieces, a complex tapestry of triumphs and tragedies. Perhaps the final piece was buried with him, waiting to be unearthed. The decision to open the tomb suggested the story was not over, that there were still secrets to be revealed. It implied something inside was so important it justified this extraordinary act, something that could rewrite history. The legacy sealed in stone was about to be re-examined, its secrets laid bare for the world to see. The world demanded answers, eager to understand the truth behind the legend. The anticipation was palpable, a collective breath held in suspense. The stage was set for a revelation, a moment that would forever alter our perception of Michael Jackson. The legend's story was not finished, it was merely entering a new, unexpected chapter. The process was a masterpiece of suspense and precision. A team of specialists, sworn to secrecy, assembled before dawn. Despite efforts at secrecy, the world was watching. Inside, the atmosphere was clinical and somber. Family members stood back, faces etched with grief and resolve. The team used ground-penetrating radar and laser scanners to map the structure. The first challenge, the massive marble slab, sealed with industrial-grade epoxy. Using a diamond wire saw, they made a precise incision. Hours passed as the slab was carefully lifted away, revealing a thick wall of concrete. Tension mounted. This was the final gate. Drills and cutting equipment dismantled the concrete piece by piece. With each section removed, anticipation grew. What would they find? The moment of truth was at hand. The world held its breath. As the final block of concrete was painstakingly removed, revealing the entrance to the crypt, a palpable sense of anticipation filled the air. The weight of history, the mystery surrounding the golden casket, all culminated in this moment. A hush fell over the group. Every camera flash seemed to echo in the sudden silence. Before them lay the famed golden casket, gleaming under the harsh glare of the work lights, its surface reflecting the hopes and fears of everyone present. There was a collective intake of breath, a shared moment of awe and trepidation. The casket was carefully drawn from the crypt, each movement deliberate, each second stretching into an eternity. Janet Jackson closed her eyes, bracing for the revelation, steeling herself for whatever lay within. With trembling hands, officials unlatched the casket, the metallic clicks echoing like gunshots in the tense atmosphere. The lid was lifted, slowly, agonizingly slowly, and then, nothing. The casket was empty, devoid of its intended occupant. No body, no sequin jacket, no white glove. Only the pristine blue velvet lining, an undisturbed void, a stark contrast to the legend it was meant to contain. The silence was shattered by a horrified gasp, a sound that perfectly encapsulated the collective shock. Family members stared in disbelief, shock turning to horror, as the reality of the situation sunk in. Lawyers' composure dissolved into astonishment, their carefully constructed facades crumbling under the weight of the impossible. The impossible had happened. Michael Jackson was not there, defying logic and expectation. Chaos erupted. How could this be? Where was he? Who could have done this? And more importantly, why? The tomb was a fortress. The seals were original, untouched since the day it was sealed. The team swore the tomb had never been breached, their reputations and careers hanging in the balance. In the bottom of the casket lay a single object, a sealed manila envelope, an anomaly in the otherwise empty space. On the front, in familiar script, one word, soon, a tantalizing clue in a sea of confusion. Inside was a single sheet of music, a haunting, beautiful melody, unmistakably Michael's composition. No lyrics, no title, just notes, a silent symphony hinting at a deeper meaning. The empty casket was a bombshell detonating the carefully constructed narrative. The cryptic musical message was the fuse, igniting a chain reaction of speculation and intrigue. The world was about to explode with theories, accusations, and desperate searches for the truth. The legend's greatest mystery had just begun, a puzzle wrapped in an enigma, shrouded in the mystique of Michael Jackson. The king of pop had vanished, leaving behind only questions and a haunting melody. The news of the empty tomb detonated across the globe. Disbelief turned to outrage. How could a global landmark be a hollow facade? For fans, it was a devastating blow. Their place of mourning was now a symbol of betrayal. Vigils formed outside Forest Lawn, larger and more emotional than ever. The family's reaction was agony and confusion. They vowed to uncover the truth. The public saw a family either complicit in deception or victims of an audacious crime. The story transcended celebrity news. It became a global event. Psychologists explained, Michael Jackson was more than a person, he was a modern myth. The empty tomb was the ultimate, final act in a life defined by the unbelievable. The world was left in shock, desperate for answers. The enigma had only deepened. In the absence of answers, conspiracy theories flourished. Some believed Michael had faked his death, orchestrating the ultimate escape. Others saw a sinister plot, body snatching, cryogenics, or an inside job for publicity. The empty tomb became the greatest mystery in pop culture, fueling endless speculation. The Jackson estate and law enforcement responded with a joint press conference. The lead investigator confirmed the tomb's seals were original. The casket had been empty since 2009. The estate's attorney revealed a secret. The public burial was a decoy. Fearing grave robbery, the family staged the Forest Lawn burial with an empty casket. Michael's body had been cremated in a private ceremony. His ashes were scattered at Neverland Ranch, his true paradise. The tomb was a beautiful misdirection to protect his real resting place. The musical score was Michael's final message, a planned mystery, a gift to his fans. His passing was, like his life, a piece of performance art. The official explanation was as theatrical as the man himself. The revelation that the tomb was a decoy only amplified the story. Why does the world still care so deeply? Michael Jackson was never just a pop star. He was a living myth. His life was a modern fairy tale, filled with triumph and tragedy. His music was a universal language connecting billions. The empty tomb became a perfect metaphor for his existence, a final illusion. Even in death, he controlled the narrative, leaving one last puzzle. His story remains unfinished, his controversies unresolved. The empty tomb forces us to re-examine everything we thought we knew. Michael was a master of illusion. This final act ensures we'll talk about him for decades. He achieved a kind of immortality few artists ever do. He is not just a memory but an ongoing conversation. The echo of his legend refuses to fade. The dust has settled, but the impact is just beginning. The revelation has sparked a massive resurgence in Michael's music and legacy. A new generation is discovering his genius for the first time. The mysterious score, Soon, is now the most anticipated music on the planet. The estate plans a world premiere event for its release. Documentaries and books are in production. His legend is reborn. The empty tomb shifted focus back to his artistry and showmanship. The final act was not an ending but a new beginning. Michael Jackson remains forever on stage just beyond our reach. The fascination endures and the music plays on.